Hello everybody, I'm Richard Wong of Work to Live podcast version. So this time, as the title shows, is the second presidency of Donald Trump possible? Which is the title of this episode, and I'd like to talk about that thing. So first of all, whether it's possible, whether such a thing, such a disastrous event like the second presidency of Donald Trump, which means you know, which means whether United people in the United States are going to elect Donald Trump as the president of the United States of America again. So meaning of the second presidency of Donald Trump means such a disastrous event. So whether it's possible or not, if you ask me whether it's possible or not, so the answer is I don't know, but it's possible. So talking about the possibility, so any possibility is any possibility can come to be true. I'm sorry for my bad English skill. So if you talk about any possibility, anything is fine. Like so the possibility of meteor strike or a possibility of volcanic explosion. Recently there were some volcanic explosions near my country. So anyway, there was a huge volcanic explosion in Tonga, which I don't know whether Tonga is the name of a country or not. So if you talk about possibilities, there's everything is possible in such a case. And I'm sorry for the noise coming into this episode. So which means if you talk about the possibility of the second presidency of which is done by which might be done by Donald Trump, it's it's possible. Such a possibility may come true, or such a possibility may be realized, or such a possibility might be realized. So anyway, whatever or however you say. So what I'd like you to what I'd like you to know this time is that you should not select such a older people as the president of the United States of America was a leader of our country, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So I checked out life expectancy of of each country. So average life expectancy is in the case of the life expectancies of developed countries. In the case of men, most country exceed 80 years, and in the case of females, or in the case of women, their life expectancy is almost reaching the life expectancies of women in developed countries almost reach almost reach 90 years. So we are the world we are in is such a situation. So which means also it is said that the life expectancy of human beings is going to become 100 years. But you know how should I say? So what I'd like you to know is that you should not select all the people as the leaders of a country. So because there is a health life expectancy, and considering the age of Mr. Donald Trump, or ex-president Donald Trump, he is when this episode is being recorded, he is at the age of 75. He was born on June 14th, 1946. So he is at the age of 75, and in this year he is going to be 76 years old person. He's going to be a 76-year-old person, which is a reality Mr. Donald Trump is going to face. And so are we, which means you- as we are getting older every second, Mr. Donald Trump is getting older every second. So which means if you if you if you are if you are if you're a citizen, or if you have a if you have a voting right living in the United States of America, and if you decide to choose him as the next president of the United States of America, maybe he'd become 79 years old. I don't know whether when the next selection of the presidency is going to come in the United States of America, maybe 2024, actually around the year. Anyway, so what I'd like you to know in this episode is that, after this, if he was if he is chosen as the next president of the United States of America again, so what I'm talking about is what I'm talking about is the future, or what I'm talking about is a near future, which is going to come in few years. So if you are a citizen of the United States of America, and if you decide to choose him as the second president of the United States of America, he he will become he will become he will become the president who is at the age of 79 or 80 years. So which means, he may he he may die, or considering the average life expectancy in the United States of America, or even in other developed countries. So he he may he may, he is possibly going to die in during his presidency, which is a reality people have to realize, or people in the United States of America have to realize. So what I'd like you to know is that you should pass to the younger generation. You should pass things to younger generations. What are those things? Those things are from the business governing a country to managing a huge company. So we need to. So all the people need to succeed. All the people need to what the current positions they have to younger generations, so that society can continue to survive. So if you rely on the business, the tough business governing if you rely on a tough business governing a huge country on all the people, if you depend so much businesses, for example, governing a huge country and huge company on all the people who are at the age, who are in, for example, 70s or 80s. Our country, your country, for example, your country, and in the case of our country, those developed countries that may be collapsed, may be collapsed in the future. So we should pass difficult things from governing a huge country and managing a huge company to, to succeed, or to inherit traditional stuff to younger generations. We should pass those things to, not we should. I'm in my 30s. So if you if you are young, if you are young group, or if you think you are young, or if you are not, for example, in if you are not in your 50s, 60s, or 70s, or 80s, you should, if you are young enough, you should take tough businesses from older generations, so that, the society you live in is going to survive even in the future, or even in the far future, opposite to the near future. So, for example, in the case of the prime minister in Finland, the current prime minister is Miss Sanna Marin. So she is at the age of, she is in in her 30s. She's at the age of 34 when this episode is being recorded. So thinking about this example, or thinking about the example of Finland. So we should if you are young, you should take tough businesses from governing a country to running or managing a huge huge company to yourself. You should take you should take those works to you should take those works if you are young, and if you are old, you should pass those tough works to younger people. For example, 20, 30 younger people who are in their 20s or 30s or 40s. And you should, if you are old enough, you should give those young people give the young people those tough works or tough businesses, like governing a huge country and managing a huge company. And you should pass traditional stuff to younger people. Like, I don't know what kind of traditional stuff you have if you are old people. So maybe after the current presidency, going back to the original topic, which is second presidency of Donald Trump. So when the when the selection or when the election of the next presidency comes, maybe Mr. Joe Biden or the current president Joe Biden may maybe may, maybe Mr. Joe Biden is going to participate in presidential election, but maybe you should not choose him. You should not vote for him, and the reason is the same as the case of Mr. Donald Trump, because Mr. Joe Biden is a little bit older than Mr. Donald Trump. Mr. Joe Biden was born on November 20, 1942, so he's at the age of 79. So he is too old for president, which is what I think. He's too old for the president of the United States of America. Which is why I don't think it's smart to choose Mr. Joe Biden again as the second as for the second presidency of the United States of America, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So I'm sorry. So this episode came to the last. So, but let me correct a mistake. So I said when I was talking about the Prime Minister of Finland. So I said that Miss Sanna Marin was at the age of 34, but that is the age of her her becoming her becoming the prime minister. So anyway, she's not at the age of 34 when this episode was being recorded. So for now she's at the maybe she's at the age of nine no she's at the age of 36. She's maybe Miss Sanna Marin is at the age of 36 when I'm recording this episode. So she was born on 16th November 1985. So when I'm recording this episode, it's almost February. It's almost February in 2022. So which means she hasn't her birthday hasn't come yet. Her birthday hasn't come yet, which means and she is going to become 37 years old in this year. She's going to become 37 years old in this year. So which means she's for now in this present time she is still at the age of 36. I don't know how human ages are calculated. I don't know how human ages are counted in her country or in Finland or in Finnish culture, but in the case of in ordinary counting manner of in the ordinary counting manner, she is at the age of 36. She is at the age of 36, which is what I'd like you to know this time. And another error correction, or another correction is that maybe I used the word succeed in a wrong manner. So in the case of property succession, so in the case of this is a so this is not, of course, this is not a property succession, but the succession of hard works. But actually, so when it comes to the scenes of property succession, so younger generations succeed the properties of older generations. So, for example, I'm sorry, but if for example, if your grandfather, or if your grandparents pass away, so your parents succeed the properties, or the house, for example, the houses of grandparents, or the other types of assets of grandparents are succeeded by your parents, or in this case, your parents succeeds the properties of grandparents. So the verb succeed is used in this manner. That's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you.